Why do we love Boston whalers so much? Seriously, why? Let me give you a little bit of context though. We bought our first boat about 12 months ago, a Boston Whaler 255, the boat I'm standing on right now. And I can truly say I've fallen in love at first sight only 4 times in my life. My wife and my 3 kids. But Boston is definitely my 5th. Now just so you know, she's not normally like this underneath. We've actually had Boston cleaned for the very first time, detail cleaned, and our cleaners have actually cleaned every single compartment, and the thing is obviously is they've taken everything out of it. Ugh. So I obviously need to get this stuff away. So the first thing I thought of course, is we fell in love with Boston so quickly because she looks good, which she does. Now just so, long story short, I've really got to go through these life jackets. Long story short, a mate of mine actually helped us find Boston online. He has grown up with boats and knows what to look for. And he found her online. Boston has one previous owner, 2007 255 Conquest. She's been looked after very well because she had some things that needed to be done to her. And she does look awesome, especially after now we've had her cleaned, new speakers, new floor and everything. So what she looked like didn't actually, I suppose, answer the question why I fell in love with her so quickly. So I thought it had to be something else. So then I started thinking, did I fall in love with her because she handles really well, especially, being a first-time boat owner. Well, 12 months now, but you know what I mean, not a lot of experience. But I have to admit, over the last 12 months, with a lot of help from mates behind the scenes, the Boat Whisperer Dean, JB, Chris, and everyone behind the scenes have helped us learn how to drive the boat better, just get used to driving. And she does drive exceptionally well. But I don't think that's the reason why I fell in love with her either. So the thing is, though, is that I know Boston Whaler has the Unibond system that I think is where they bind fiberglass and foam together so the boat sort of can't sink. Yes, it can have some problems, but at least it's not going to sink. And that's actually one of the main reasons why I was able to convince my wife why we should buy a boat with 0 experience, because at least we can't sink. But I don't think the handling's the reason why. I've got a lot of rope. I think too much rope. The next thing I asked myself is it because of the cost? I know Boston Whalers cost more than most boats do. A lot of reasons, craftsmanship, of course the Unibond and so on, which I didn't know when we purchased the boat. So therefore, since it cost more, do I therefore love it more because it cost more? I don't think so. The reason why that is when we bought the boat, as I said, I had JB actually help us find it. And I asked him to help us find a great value boat. And he did actually help us find that. The thing is, I have no idea what boats actually cost at that time. I trusted him completely, and he definitely found us a good deal. But I don't think it comes down to the money. Don't you hate it when you have a vibration on the boat and you can't find it? Now it stops. There it is. It's like I need to get some little gaps there to stop it vibrating. I can't stand vibrations. Anyway, so the next one I thought is maybe I've fallen in love with our Boston Whaler primarily because of the Boston brand. It's been around for 60 years. It was invented by a guy, what was his name? It's gonna kill me now. You know how you get things in your head and you can't remember it? What was his name? Dick Fisher. Sorry, funny enough, a guy with the last name Fisher creates one of the best fishing boat brands. Anyway, I thought maybe that was it. Maybe because I suppose everyone else was passionate about Boston Whaler. But the thing is that I fell in love with my Boston Whaler before I knew all of that. I was about to do a video later on about the history of Boston Whaler. So I'd love to be able to go to their factory in Florida and I'd love to be able to see where Boston was born, but I fell in love with her way before I knew about the backstory. And just so you know, I don't know the whole backstory. But one did actually catch my eye was when they cut the boat in half. Funny enough, that video of cutting a boat in half, as I said before, helped me sell to my wife I could get a boat. But the history isn't the reason. The engines have just been serviced, and I thought I'd come down and run them because we've had a massive storm here in Perth. So the bilge pump would have been working overtime to keep the water out of the bilge, and which, as you know, flattens the batteries because I don't have a solar power battery yet, but she's running really well. So in the end, with me trying to work out why the Boston Whaler brand is something we've fallen in love with so quickly as a family, is I went to the actual Facebook page. There's a Facebook page of Boston Whaler fans. We went on there as soon as we bought Boston because I wanted to work out, or at least have a group of people I could ask questions to, apart from my mates, you know, where to get certain parts and what to do and so on. And I put it to them that I've fallen in love with the Boston Whaler brand. Why do we love Boston Whaler so much? Seriously, why? And they came back to me with the typical answers of it's a dependable brand. The boat is well made, it's reliable, it's safe. Of course, naturally, foam can't sink. You know, all the normal things, they look great. But one of the other common themes that I noticed was the memories that the people had built on a Boston Whaler sort of anchored them to them. They grew up on a Boston Whaler. They spent time on a Boston Whaler with their father. They saw the advert on TV about a Boston Whaler being sawed in half, and they thought they were awesome and they wanted to buy one. They've always wanted one. And it's wrapped around that, but it didn't answer the question of why I liked Boston Whalers. You have to understand, I didn't know what a Boston Whaler was 12 months ago. I didn't know what a good boat was 12 months ago. I didn't even know anything about boats 12 months ago. So that didn't answer my question. I was never connected to a Boston Whaler. But it did hit home with me about the memories. Because literally from day one, when we bought Boston home from the previous owner up at Hillary's and drove her back to Fremantle, her new home just here, we made a memory right there that my boys will never forget. And it was just driving the boat back. Caleb got to drive the boat for the very first time. Sammy came back on the boat with us and parked it and saw her go into a trailer, was introduced to her for the first time. And they still remember that day. I thought maybe it's like, you know, your first car, when you buy your first car, you fall in love with it, you always remember it. It's not that. It's the simple fact that Boston is where we make memories as a family we'll never forget. I will never forget. And I find that hugely valuable. The older I get, the more, I suppose, important I put on making memories with my kids.
You were really nearly brave.
I was nearly brave. I was trying to get one while he flicked off my hand.
And Boston's the perfect place to do that. Jane's still to come out, my wife, she's still to come out and catch her first fish. Brianna's going to be coming out to catch her first fish very soon as the weather clears up. We are going into winter down here. Caleb and I are going to be learning how to park the boat and drive the boat with two engines, you know, forward, backwards, so we can manoeuvre the boat better. We've still got to learn how to do that. We've got our scuba diving license coming up this winter because we thought we might as well get it winter in preparation for summer rather than gets really busy. Anyway, I've got to pack this up, get back, because the kids are expecting me at soccer. So if you do love Boston Whalers, let us know in the comments. Why do you love Boston Whalers? I'm really interested to know. Obviously, if you want to follow on the venture, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you very soon in the next video. Because I think I've got a problem with my water filters. Have a look at this. Just running the engines on idle. See the water that's built up? I'm going to have to run that out. And I don't know whether because it's rained, it's been sucked in. I think that might be the cause. We've had a lot of rain. So I think there might be an issue with the cap. I'm going to have to get Shane to check that out.